Hi, a Rosie math teacher coming at you from my house this weekend to give you a little extra help on lesson 4-1 for my accelerated 7th grade math students, specifically with item number 9. Remember, in this lesson, we were learning about the need to combine the values of h, in this case, to only one side of the equation so that we will have a two-step equation where the variable is residing only on one side of that equation. And remember this as well, because guys, when I was your age, no one really explained to me how to solve an item like this. Let me read it and then we'll talk some more. A plumbing company charges $35 per hour plus a $25 travel charge for a service call. Another plumbing company charges $40 per hour for a service call with no charge. Solve the equation 35h plus 25 equals 40h to find how many hours h a service call must be for the two companies to charge the same amount. Now guys, keep this in mind. In the world of algebra, the variable, when it is the same letter, in this case h, one thing we can know immediately is that that letter is representing the exact same number as long as it is living inside of this particular equation. And also recall that when we have a coefficient with variable, those are being multiplied because in one fashion or another, this coefficient 35 is an amount that is getting repeated. In this case, it's being repeated per hour or every hour. So doesn't it make sense that when you multiply the cost per hour times the number of hours, you would get the total amount that they would be charging for the number of hours they were at the house repairing the plumbing. And remember that a constant is always a one-time fee. It's not a repeated amount. So when you see that you have a one-time fee, in this case, the travel charge, and if you just think about it in the real world, if a plumber from this company were to show up at your house and you suddenly said, oh my gosh, I actually have no plumbing issues whatsoever. I have no idea why I called you to come to my house. They are still going to charge you the $25 fee simply for arriving at your door. They won't charge you the $35 per hour because you didn't end up using their services. So I hope that kind of helps you understand the fees that are involved with this company. Now, the other company does not charge a fee for just showing up. They only charge you a $40 fee per hour. So when you get a question like this, in the future, you'll get word problems just like this that will not give you this equation. They will expect you to know how to write it down. So you want to always do an expression for the one company on one side and the appropriate expression for the other company on the other side, remembering that the variable they have in common will be represented by the exact same letter of the alphabet. So let's go ahead and solve this equation now that you understand where we got all of the numbers from. So we have h on both sides here. We never want or never can solve an equation as long as we're leaving the variable on both sides of that equation. In order to get all of the variable to just one side of the equation, I want you to first look and ask yourself, what would happen if, for example, if I removed this variable 40h and put it over to the other side? Is there any way in which that would be a good idea? The answer is no, because you don't want to end up with nothing over here on the right, okay? So the second thing I want you to look for is, as long as it would not involve moving this one, because clearly we cannot, but typically you're going to want to look and see which of my variable values is less. And remember, I keep telling you guys, left is less, left is less. So if you saw the numbers 35 and 40 on a number line, which one is to the left? 35. So that's the one I would rather undo on both sides. So let's go over to the lesser value of h, 35h. It is a positive value. How do I undo a positive value of h? I hope you're thinking to yourself and maybe saying out loud, subtract that value. So take away 35h over here. Do that on both sides. Take away 35H value over here. And guys, remember, it is absolutely imperative that you do the same thing to both sides, because an equation is just like a seesaw where you have got to keep all the kids on the left in balance with all the kids on the right. Okay, so next step. 35H take away 35H would equal 0. I don't need to even waste my time writing 0. Normally, I just scribble it out and go, okay, cancels out. Don't forget to copy whatever you see coming next. In this case, it's a positive 25. Now, I don't need to copy the positive symbol because if I just copy 25, I know that automatically means it is a positive 25. Equaling, and then we have 40H take away 35H, you know that's 5H. And then our second and final step, go to the variable side, find the variable, that is H. H is being what by 5? It is being multiplied. And remember, we always want to do the inverse operation. If it was being multiplied by 5, I now will divide by 5. I will do this on both sides. So as you can see on the right, I have a fraction where the numerator and denominator are exactly the same. When they are the same, they are worth a giant 1. Now, in the world of algebra, do we ever write 1H? No, because as soon as you write H, you can see that you have 1H. And over on the left, 25 divided by 5, of course, you remember that that is 5. And so now we know that at the moment you reach 5 hours, the first company will be charging you the exact same amount as the second company. I hope this helps.